So I want to help people with that. I see wellness as a holistic thing. It isn't just body, it isn't just mind. And I promise you, every stitch of research that comes out from this moment forward, you're going to see, they're going to more and more say, it's weird, there actually is no delineation between the mind and the body.
You don't feel like doing the work that you're supposed to do it anyways. You don't feel like getting up early in the morning, get up early in the morning.
Every morning, you start your day. Sometimes you tend to think about what you did yesterday. You think about what you could have done, what you should have done, but it didn't turn out the way you wanted it. You start getting into an abyss of self-hate.
You should be a monster. Because everyone says, well, you should be harmless. You don't want to be too aggressive, you don't want to be too assertive if you want to take a back seat. No, you should be a monster. And then you should learn how to control it. The definition of being aggressive is forceful and sometimes overly assertive pursuit of one's aims. In combat, almost nothing will happen the way you want it to if you don't force it that way.
And he goes back to be at his high school reunion. I think it was his 15-year reunion, if I remember correctly. I don't remember the exact year, but all I remember is he said he saw that woman that he was so obsessed by. He was looking forward to seeing her. And now he was Garth Brooks, and he met her. And after he met her and spent some time with her, he wrote a song called Thank God for Unanswered Prayers. Sometimes not getting your blueprint's the best thing that ever happened, because the disappointment drives you to find something more important inside of you. Or not getting it makes you look for another aspect of your life, a spiritual aspect, a family aspect, a physical aspect. If you can just trust that life doesn't happen to you, it happens for you, then you can find in any situation a benefit that can take your life to the next level. I don't care if you're Frank and Kristen, I don't care if you're, Mandy and Scott, I don't care if you're Joaquin and Kim. Every one of us in our life is going to face situations where it feels like we have total trauma, something that's been taken from us.
Right? You have neurons in your digestive tract. Neurons. Like, how crazy is that? So when you say you have a gut feeling, it's because you actually have neurons in your gut. Your brain, literally, it's nuts. But like, the more that we really begin to understand the body, and trust me, we do not understand it yet, the more we begin to understand the body, the more we begin to understand the brain, the more we're going to see that they're linked. What I care about, every company that I will be involved from Quest forward, has to do with one thing: that moment of awakening that somebody has where they realize they control their life. That's it. And whether that was you were obese and now you got in shape, whether that was you were anorexic and you want to get healthy, whether you were tired of being pushed around and so you want to add muscle.
The real question is, what are you going to do with it? Some people just live in their story of what they don't have, and they have the right to do that. If Frank and Kristen lived in pain and felt bad, we'd all say they have the right to do it. It's the difference between what you have the right to do and what you deserve to give yourself and others. We have the ability to transcend whatever happens to us. There's something called post-traumatic growth. Very few people know about it. Two people go through the same stress, one's destroyed, the other grows. What's the difference? The people that grow will not give up. They don't have any excuses. They find the way to break through whatever it takes. And when they do, three things happen. Number one, they realize who they really are and what they're capable of. They realize they're so much stronger than they thought they were. And number two, they deepen all their relationships. You want to know who really cares about you, who you love and who loves you? Go through some tragedy, go through some hard times. All your Facebook friends go away.
Like, whatever. You want to make sure that your kids grow up with a good diet and that they have every advantage that they can. Awesome, man. And seeing that people go, whoa, like, you guys are really doing the things to put me in control, right? Which is why we don't say, oh, you should be ketogenic or you should be low carb. I'm not telling people what they should do. I just want to make sure they know that they're in control. And so the other company is going to be literally as foundational as you can culturally be to help people understand that they A, are in control, and B, that they have the tools that they need to execute against that.
You are speaking my language, my friend.
Oh,
I asked this question to Gary Vaynerchuk last year, and he took it down a political way, and I didn't intend for it. But my question is, what you just said is, it feels like there's almost this split of, there's more opportunity and there are more choices now than ever.
The enemy nature time, there's all kinds of things that are going against you. It's a losing battle. And if you don't use force of will, then you're not going to get it done. What it means is you need to make things happen. This is the good thing about being aggressive. Sure, there's certain parts of your nature that are aggressive, but it can also be trained. You can start to think with an aggressive mindset, which is, I am going to take action.
You don't feel like spending that 1.5 hours writing for the book that you're trying to write. You write the freaking book that you're supposed to write. That's what you do. There's no magic pill. There's no brain waves that you can hook into a machine. There's no meditation that's going to get you there. What you do is the things that you don't feel like doing, do them anyways. Just be tougher.
Oh, so if I feel like exhausted today, I won't take the day off, but I will take the next day. But I'll work out today just to make sure that I'm not just being lazy. Yeah. So I'll do another workout, get another training session in, or whatever the case may be. So I make sure that it's not just that moment. Because sometimes the next day you're like, I'm not that bad.
Right.
I'm going to get back in the game. The thing is, I can do, if my mind is engaged in something, or especially if my body's engaged in something, that's what's cool about working out. You can work out when you're exhausted.
Now that sounds pretty harsh for some people. But there are a lot of people right now that are going through this experience in their lives. They don't seem to love themselves anymore. They feel hopelessness. They feel lost. They feel that no one cares about them, and that they're the only one in the world that exists.
I'm going to overcome obstacles. I'm going to push through roadblocks. I'm not going to take no for an answer, and those are things that you can train. There's so often times where people, they get told no, or they hit an obstacle, and it's game over, Flubba. They're done training. They're over it. And your attitude, you have to go, okay.
Because once you start moving, it's not like you're going to fall asleep while you're doing squats.
Right.
It's not like you're going to fall asleep while you're doing pull-ups.
Yeah.
You're just going to do the pull-ups. You're just going to do the squats. What's hard to do, and this is when we were writing the book, when I was writing my section of the books, I'd be writing at night, 11 o'clock at night, 12 o'clock at night, be trying to hammer through it. And sometimes I just fall, I'd be falling asleep.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. So, but that feeling of, hey, I'm just falling asleep, that's not good.
Right.
You know? So when I'm feeling that tired, I'll power it out. But it's like one of those things where I also like to push through it. Why are you doing this? And that is why it's so important for you as you try and reach your goals, as you try and get something done, you keep that in mind of why you're doing this. What's the end state going to be? Because it's so easy to lose track of the end state. I mean, if you're trying to make, you're trying to gain 25 pounds of muscle, I mean, that's going to take you a couple years possibly.
Little roadblock, cool. How am I gonna get through? How am I getting around it? What I need you to do is evaluate yourself today. Evaluate yourself to see where you are. In this race of life, many of you don't even realize that you've been racing to the finish line. This life is a race. Some of you need to be pushed to start running because you've been walking. Or you haven't been moving for so long and you don't even know that you're in a race that all of us are competing to win.
I'm here to let you know right now, you have to turn it back up again. You got to get into a position where you start to realize that if you don't love yourself, then no one will love you. And you have to stop depending on chasing people to love you. How can you receive love if you don't give yourself enough love within yourself? How can you understand what it means to love if you don't love yourself within? I get it. You've had some hard times. I understand it. It's been a tough road for you. But I want you to think for a moment. Do you really have it that bad? Are you really going through so much in your life that the other person that you may have met that's just down the road from you, that may have crossed your path, and maybe they didn't even look your way,